A warm greeting to you, my dear developer. We are going to continue. Let's continue and learn how we can very easily add new routes and pages to any Next.js application. Let's run pnp run dev pnp. You can install it with npm install dash g globally pnpm. Yes, pnpm. That is the way to install it. Well, it's a package manager, better, faster than npm. But if you use npm, it doesn't matter. That is okay too. But that is the most common way to install it. If you already have Node.js installed, well, I'm sure you install it yet. Just run that instruction. And then this install npm globally on your machine. So let's continue. pnpm run dev. We are going to wait for a while, and then we are going to do something. Click here and just imagine that in our application we have many different roads. Let's say that we want to be able to go, for example, I don't know, category or about or customer. Yes. So what do we have to do? Basically, for example, 3 rows that we want to set up here. But in Next.js, we will learn that to create pages using the app router, all we need is to create some folders and some files in order to create pages and routes, and that's it. So inside the app folder, which is inside in as RC folders, here app folder, remember, which enables the app router. We just create a folder called, for example, category. Yes. And now this alone is enough, because we are going to write category, but that is going to show a mistake, an error that says this page could not be found. And what happened? What happened with that? Well, this alone is not enough yet. So if we go, that is going to do anything. The reason for that is that inside this folder, category folder, we now need to create a JavaScript, or in our case a TypeScript file, and that needs to be called by convention page.js. Well, page tsx, remember, using TypeScript, page.txsx. Well, okay, we got the folder, we have the file, but look at this error. The default export is not a real component. Yes. Well, the last error we had earlier has gone away, but we have a different error which simply says that we are not exporting any component here. Yes, so basically each page in Next.js is simply a React component that we export from a page tsx file, which needs to be inside of the folder, in this case category folder or some other folder. So, well, let's make a component. Default, oh, excuse me, export default function, and we need to begin with capital page, but I mean, we are actually call it whatever we want, this function page. So we could call this product page, but by default is kind of a convention, yes, that we always call them just page. Okay, so as remember in React, as always in React, for example, we are going to return an h1 and says categories page, for example. Yes, and then we're okay, beautiful, amazing. That is our first page called category. And hey, you can remember, you can use, because here in NextJS, Tailwind is integrated into NextJS when we install it, when we create the app. So for example, you can say class name and background green, this one, and okay, beautiful. We can say text center, for example, and this is our first page in Next.js. And as I told you, basically all we need is to create some folders and some files in order to create pages and rows, and that's it. Well, okay, I almost made a mistake. So, okay, this is again a component, yes, and we are using TypeScript. TypeScript start crying out if you see a mistake. So this is a component, well, I mean, actually it's a React server component, yes, because remember, all the components that by default here in Next.js are server components. But more about that a bit later. We are going to learn how to create client components. But remember, by default, all the components that you create through a file, they are server components. But what this means is that whatever TypeScript or JavaScript that we write here will be server-side rendering, yes? Not client-side rendering, rather server-side rendering. Okay, and now, what if we wanted category and then slash a new segment? Yes, for example, category and then, I don't know, digital category. Digital. Yes? What do we have to do? So, can you maybe guess how that would work? Very good, you're right. All that you have to do is inside this folder category, I mean, inside of this, create another one. For example, digital. Yes. But that is not enough, remember? Digital is going to say this page could not be found, because again it's necessary, it's mandatory to create inside this folder another page tsx. So we are going to create page.tsx, and again is necessary, is mandatory, a component. So look at this, appears the error, the mistake, the default export is not a real component. So again, export default function, this is the declaration of the component, the function component. Again, page, yes, as a convention, and return again an h1 to say digital categories page, for example. So come here, okay, digital categories page again. Remember, you can use Tailwind to style the website. For example, background well, blue this one, and text center again. Okay, 1, 2, 3 again. Excellent. And what happens if we need another row? This is the row. Yes, this is the row. So each folder is responsible for each of the segment in this URL. That is the way of how we create longer URLs. Yes, this is a longer, well, I mean, from our beginning perspective, at the moment is a longer URL with multiple segments. Well, just one segment, but in our huge and robust website, you are going to have many different rows and many different segments. So each folder, in this case category folder, is responsible for each of the segments in this URL. So we are in the beginning of the road here, and that's it. So let's create another about folder. For example, again, we place in app folder, which enable app router, and make about folder, and immediately create page tsx, and immediately export default function page, which return a new h1 which says, for example, yes, about page, and again some styles from Tailwind, background, look at this, and that's it. So if we want to look for that road, about 1, 2, 3, what happened? Again, Wonderful, amazing. It's our two page using app router. Okay? Well, but remember, this is not our real application. This was just a demo. We are exploring roads and pages, and we are going to create another one, the last one. For example, I don't know, customer, and again paste tsx, export default function page, return h1 customers page, and we are going to look for this row, customer 1 2 3 again. Okay, we forget give it an style using a tailwind background, okay, fuchsia, and that's it. So we can do some more complex stuff with roads. Yes, we are going to go into a bit later, but we are going to see like dynamic roads. This topic of dynamic roads will be covered later, where we can then like read a parameter from here, for example, yes, like a parameter, an ID, yes, but then we are going to see them. So yes, that's it. We just want to set up others but very simple roads, and okay, but what happened? There are many pages. Yes, for example, this is page of customer, this is page inside of category folder, and again another page file inside digital folder, and about. Yes, many pages. So we are starting to have many pages here, but which can become quite confusing. But a nice small trick that can help us with this is to see the folder's name to identify. Yes, for example, here is the page, but from the digital folder, and this one is the page from the about folder, and this one is the page from the inside of the customer folders. So at the end you put Ctrl P and look at this page. If you want to place in the page but in about, you say it here, and that is the page but inside about folder. Yes. With this we have a lot easier time to actually identify what we are working on. Okay, so now just that's it. Okay. The home page. Yes, this one, the page of our home page. So well, I am going to delete this code. Okay, and say, I don't know, welcome to real business. I don't know. Business. Okay, you got it. So, okay, let's see. In the road. This is in the road. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Welcome to real business. Let's check. We can have other, of course, but well, no more. As a summary, we have learned how we can set up some very simple roles like category about road, category road, and customer road. We just simply make folders and we got the roads. How we can even have roads with multiple segments, remember? Here in category, multiple segment, well, just one segment inside of category road. Again, category what? Digital. Okay, digital. And that is a segment. And we know how we can use convention of page.txx. And there are other conventions like layout. This is a convention. This file is mandatory to call like that. And other conventions, but NextJS team came up with, and we can use to build these different parts using all convention global files. And NextJS is very clear in that. But okay, but more about that later. For now, what we are going to do is to learn how we can effectively navigate between these roads. But that is going to be in the next session. So for now, thank you so much for your attention, and God bless you a lot, my dear developers.